managing parents' expectations while dating. I mean, it is one of the hardest areas, and I think almost all of us have experienced at least once, maybe in the former years of dating, the middle stages, or maybe you're with someone now and
right
you're
now.
an adult. All the while, when your parents and you don't see eye to eye on your boyfriend or girlfriend, yikes! How do you handle it?
Run away. Just run.
We'll find out next on The Mac Show, everybody.
Stay tuned.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching The Mac Show. I'm Anita Kay.
I'm MelodicMic.
This is a tough topic, but one that's important to cover.
When we first thought about this topic, we knew this was going to be a doozy, and a lot of us have been through this topic alone. So,
well, being in a relationship is already wonderful and has some stressful components from time to time.
Yes.
And if your parents are not aligned with who you're dating or who you're married to, that adds a whole new, as we all know, level of tension on top of it.
Oh, yeah.
And the question is, how do we navigate through that? Have you experienced that?
Yes. Many a times.
Yes, so have I. So
Yeah.
have I. Definitely speaking from experience.
So, I'm going to jump right in on this one. This is the thing. So, for many of you guys that have followed me before, you know that I tend to date out of my culture, right? Mm-hmm. And already that's like a stigma. That's like a no-no. That's a right? And it's so difficult because being here in the States, you know, you see a lot of interracial dating. You see it. Yeah, you see a lot of cultures.
See a lot. Actually, it's the norm.
I would say it's more the norm.
Yeah, it's definitely the norm. And I'm so glad it is.
Yeah.
It's definitely the norm.
But it's very difficult when, you know, you want to balance that whole, I want to please my parents or make my parents happy, but at the same time, I really care for this person and I want them to all come together. So the reason why this was such a tough topic, but we thought it was so important to attack, is because a lot of people can relate to it.
And we know how it feels when you're going back and forth, fighting back and forth, and sometimes having to take a stand or a side, which is not easy, really difficult.
Right.
But you'll have to gauge if you're ever in this current experience or if you've gone through this and it happens again, how to really gauge and how do you want to partake moving forward with both parties. Well, and I believe, and I suggest, without going behind someone's back.
Right.
Yeah.
I always want to be straightforward and honest.
If you can. And I think there's 3 simple steps that I would recommend. And of course there's more, but I would say the number one thing is try to understand where your parents are coming from.
Put yourself in their shoes.
Yeah. And as well as the other partner that you're dating. But really, if we're just talking about parents here and managing parents' expectations, we've got to focus on that. And we've got to give it attention. And we have to prioritize it as well as give it some importance. I believe. So number 1, really try to understand where your parents are coming from. Number 2, contemplate on the communication and the exchange that you want to have with your parents about the BF or the GF where they don't approve. And really take just a listening approach.
Yes.
Really understand what is it. Ask the associated questions, but really take a listening approach and really understand from a non-emotional point of view really where they stand on this. You might be surprised. So I think that's really important, not to have an immediate bias that my parents are out for me or they don't want to see me happy, or more importantly, they don't understand me at all.
Oh, and for you guys that don't know what BF or GF, that's boyfriend or girlfriend.
Yes, it is.
Just wanted to define that just in case you're looking at it sideways.
Thank you very much.
Making sure you know.
Number 3, you want to explore the risks with your parents should you go against them. And really prioritize your actions and your thoughts accordingly. You're going to have to take a risk. You don't want to take a risk. You're going to really have to manage the guilt associated maybe from the parents' point of view. And that can lead into other areas of stress back in the relationship. So it has to be addressed. and it has to be prioritized. And if we don't develop those coping skills effectively when we're having hard conversations with our parents, sometimes the guilt carries over and becomes habitual. And we've talked about this before, into other areas of your life.
Yes.
And it can harm other areas of your life as well, building more fear, more guilt, and overall poor communication.
Right. I'll just say, you have to, Anita said something so prevalent and so important, is that you have to be able, as much as you want them to understand you, you have to at least listen to what they have to say. And yeah, you might get into an argument. Yeah, you guys might not agree on certain things, but being able to at least listen to what they have to say and take it into consideration is so important, because just as much as you want to be heard, so do they. It's very important.
Definitely. And the answers may not be immediate. So my approach is try to sometimes agree to disagree, but do it peacefully.
Yes.
And then guess what? Try again. And then guess what? Try again. And keep trying different opportunities or situational, environments where you can try to get that gap a little more narrow and try to get on the same page. And if you don't...
Oh, go ahead. I got one thing. This is awesome. Something you said triggered something, but go ahead. Yeah.
Yay. Good. I forgot what I was going to say.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
But she was saying, go ahead.
I was saying, no, I think you should say it. I forgot what I was going to say.
So what happens is, as you're trying and you're trying and you're trying, you're
Give it
bridging
time.
the gap, right? You're bridging the gap.
You're narrowing the gap.
So what happens is, in due time, after this long duration, and you're still with the same person, that constant, that consistency actually plays a factor. Because that she or he is in your life, still you're dating, and after all this time, it builds this trust. Your parents will soon turn over and be like, wow, you're serious about this person. And if that's the case, maybe I should consider what you're going through and why you really love this person, why you admire this person, all the little things. So stay consistent. If you truly believe it in your hearts of hearts, this is the one, sometimes you just got to go ahead and just really be about it.
It's a really maturing experience.
Yes.
Really, sometimes to move forward with an opportunity or an individual or what have you, and not have the support you really crave and you feel like you really deserve. So it really will keep you in a brave, hopefully in a brave, or keep in a brave format, because that's the only way to have clarity and to be mature and to really show others how important something or someone may be to you.
Absolutely, yes. I
Yeah,
agree.
definitely. Thanks for that. But I think at the end of the day, no matter what I go through, I always end with, does my mom know what's best for me? Think about it. We look forward to your responses. Please subscribe if you haven't. I'm Anita K, everybody.
I'm MelodicMic.
And thanks for watching The Mac Show.
We'll see you next time. Go. Just run the other way.